Hi, I'm Dr. Linda Humes, and this is Sangha of the Valley. Together, we are griots in concert, keeping the culture alive. Today is December 26, 2020, and it is the first day of Kwanzaa, Umoja, unity. Now, during Kwanzaa time, we use the language Kiswahili because Kiswahili is a language that is used by many ethnic groups throughout the continent of Africa. And when Dr. Karanga created Kwanzaa in 1966, he wanted to use a language that could unify Africans on the continent, but also Africans around the world, right? So that we could understand that we came from a continent that had rich principles and a rich culture. So I'm going to see if we can learn a little Kiswahili today, all right? So Harambe means call to unity. Like we've been called to unity today to celebrate Kwanzaa. Now, Habaragani means hi, what's happening? What's up? Habaragani. So when someone says Habaragani during Kwanzaa time, you answer back with the principle of the day. So today the principle is Umoja, unity. So I would say Habaragani, and you would answer back
Umoja.
Umoja. So we are going to start our program today in the tradition. Throughout the continent of Africa, when something very important is getting ready to happen in the village, it always starts with the drum, but it always starts with homage and respect for the ancestors. If we were together, I would ask you, who amongst you are the eldest? And do I have your permission to speak? I would ask the elders if we could proceed. And the elders would nod and give me the okay to proceed. And then we would pour libation. All through the continent, there is this ritual of pouring water in remembrance of those that have made their transition. And we see that this tradition has come from the motherland over into the new world when we see the young men and women, pouring some henny for their ancestors or for the departed. It's the same concept of respecting the ancestors, respecting the fact that we stand on strong ancestral shoulders. A dear friend used to say, you are the manifestation of the prayers of the ancestors. Just let that sink in for a minute. You are the manifestation of the prayers of the ancestors. So now we have libation.
Well, greetings to one and all. We're here with our Cha Umoja cup, and this cup brings unity because the water that's in this cup is going to be poured for libation. Some pour rum, some pour what they have, but we go the natural way. We pour with water, and with clear, cool water, they pour the water and they say Omi Tutu, which means water. And when I say Omi Tutu, you say Ashe, because we pour the water and Ashe means so be it. So when the water hits the ground, then you know what happens. The seed germinates. So we want to germinate the seed here today for Kwanzaa in this time. So with they invested in me from the elders, I am authorized to pour this libation. As we pour it, we say Omi Tutu, you say Ashe. Ona Tutu, Ashe. Ile Tutu, Ashe. Bobo Lese Edumare, Ashe. Ashe Pupo,
Ashe.
Ashe. For all those who are in the hospitals right now, We pour libation for them to honor our ancestors to come and help them. We say Ashe.
Ashe.
For all of us who came through the Middle Passage, through that passage of slavery, as we build ourselves and we came out of that and we're now strong and we're running things, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
To all those, all over the children everywhere in the world, may they be safe. Ashe.
Ashe.
And to you and me, where we become strong to serve our God. Ashe.
Ashe.
So at this time, we would like to ask you to call the name of your ancestor. Everyone has their own ancestor, and then we share ancestors. For example, my mother is Margaret Beard. My father is Vernon Francis. Those are my direct ancestors. So when I pray to them, and they always guide me through the purple rain. You know what I mean? So you can go ahead and call the name of your ancestor. Vernon Francis, Margaret Beard, Babatunde Olatunji, Chuck Davis, Charles Moore.
And to all of those that we lost during COVID-19.
Ashe, 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 Ashe. So by now you should have called on the Spirit, and they will come and help us to get through this performance. So when you say the biggest Ashe, we say Ashe Pupo. And this is a language called Yoruba from Nigeria, from the Ifa people. So we say together, we say Ashe Pupo. 1, 2, 3. Ashe Pupo. Ashe. Ashe.
And we also give homage to all those who lost their lives with injustice.
Yes. So now we get to the top of the show. Now our ancestors cleared the way for us to continue, and you can receive the blessings. So we use the power of the drum. And this drum is the djembe drum. It brings to you joy. We're going to call the people from East, West, North, South, and Central. Bakule, bakule, oh. Oh, yeah. Bakule, bakule, oh. Oh, yeah. So now the people have gathered, like you and me and our party here, and we shall sing a song to bring in the harvest, because Kwanzaa is all about the harvest. And we go directly to Nigeria from Babatunde Olatunji and the people of Nigeria, the Yoruba people. They say, Odunde, Odunde. Odunde atuyo, Odunde, Odunde, Odunde monduyo, se dumare pape o, ire Odunde, Odunde.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
I said, Poopa.
So the idea that Dr. Karenga had was that Africans that lived outside the continent of Africa would be able to go back to the rich culture and principles of the continent of Africa. It was a Pan-African concept, if you will, based on, like Baba Sanga said, on harvest holidays. All throughout the continent of Africa, there are harvest holidays, and many indigenous people all over the world celebrate harvest. So if you see our table here, you see that we have a basket of fruit that represents harvest, right? And the idea is that we work hard and then we reap what we sow, right? So we have the fruit. So Kwanzaa literally means first fruit, Kwanzaa, yes? All right. So the other piece that's really important for us to understand about Kwanzaa is that it is a cultural holiday. It is not a religious holiday. So you could practice any religion and still practice Kwanzaa because it is a cultural holiday, and there are principles for each day of the holiday, all right, from December 26th all the way through January 1st, and these principles are devised for us to be reflective and look at these principles and to use them 365 days a year. It is a holiday to bring the families together, but also for us to look and be reflective of how we treated one another. Do we need to make amends to someone? What can we do differently? So it's not just about having fun, which Kwanzaa is a lot of fun, but it's also about being introspective, looking within ourselves. What can we do to make our lives better, to make our world better? Based on another very important philosophy called Sankofa. Many of you might have seen the Ndinkra symbol from Ghana, where the bird is looking back. This is the Sankofa symbol, and it is based on the Sankofa bird in Ghana. Now, what the folklore is that the elders would sit at dusk and they would notice this bird. This bird was a very unusual bird. It would go to a tree, it would make a nest, and then when it was time to go to another tree, it would always take something from the first tree with it to the second tree. So the elders said, this bird, this Sankofa bird, we can learn from this bird that we must always take with us what is valuable from our past and bring it with us into the present so that we can have a glorious future. That concept of Sankofa. So in the spirit of Sankofa, I would like to share a story with you from Ghana. And this is from the Ashanti people. And the name of this story is, when someone does good to you, you should return good with good. Now, if we were in Ghana, I would say, all right, if you're ready for this story, I'm going to say I go and I want you to say I may. That's the call and response of the storyteller, right? If we were in Ghana. But being that this is Kwanzaa time, we're going to use the Kiswahili call and response, which is Hodi Karibu. Hodi, are you ready? Are you listening? Karibu, yes, we're listening. So wherever you are in the world, wherever you are, New York, LA, if you're in the South Pacific, in the Caribbean, in Europe, wherever you are, when I say Hodi, you all from wherever you are, on your couch, in your living room, at your kitchen table, I want you to say Karibu, because I'll hear you and I'll know you're ready for the story. So here we go. Hodi! Hodi!
Karibu.
Hodi!
Karibu.
There once was a very old woman. And this old woman had a terrible sore on her leg. The sore was so painful that sometimes she was not able to walk at all. Now this bird was in the sky and she saw this old woman. She descended to the old woman and she said to the old woman, "How on earth are you able to walk with such a terrible sore?" Well, the old woman said that the sore was so painful and that every step was so painful for her. Well, the bird, which was a beautiful eagle, said to the old woman, "I can help you, but I know how you human beings are. If I do good to you today, you will return my good with evil tomorrow." "Oh, no, no, no," said the old woman. "Please, if you could help me, please help me." So the eagle instructed the old woman to close her eyes. "Close your eyes, old woman. Now, open them." When the old woman opened her eyes, the trees of the forest had cleared. "Close your eyes, old woman. Now, open them." This time, when the old woman opened her eyes, there were marketplaces and people and huts as far as the eye can see. "Close your eyes, old woman. Now, open them." This last time, when the old woman opened her eyes, the terrible sore had disappeared. "Oh, how can I repay your kindness?" said the old woman. "Ah, that cotton silk tree is all that I desire." And the eagle flew to the top of the cotton silk tree. Now, in a few weeks, that old woman became very, very prosperous. However, she had a little granddaughter that lived with her, and I trust that none of you know any children like this, but this little girl is what I would call a brat. Every day she started screaming at the top of her lungs, "I want an eagle's baby to chew. I want an eagle's baby to chew. If I don't get an eagle's baby to chew, I'll just die." So the old woman knew that the eagle had hatched 2 baby eagles, and she instructed the men to go from the village. "Go to the cotton silk tree and bring the creatures to me." The sound of their axes against the tree was pit, pit, pit. The tree almost fell to the ground, but the eldest of the baby eagles cried out for its mother, "Sandgoi! Sandgoi, the child! Sandgoi, if you're good to it, come back." Now the female eagle, who heard the cries of her eldest baby eagle, flew back to the cotton silk tree. "Sandgoi!" And with the sound of her voice, the tree that had almost fell to the ground came back to its upright position. And the men that were chopping the tree were devoured in the ground. "If she comes back to you, let her take you," she instructed her children, and she flew off. Now the next week, that little granddaughter started again. "I want an eagle's baby to chew. I want an eagle's baby to chew. If I don't get an eagle's baby to chew, I'll just die." So once and again, the old woman summoned a few of the men from the village. "Go to the cotton silk tree and bring the creatures to me." The sound of their axes against the tree was pit, pit, pit. The tree fell to the ground. The men went into the nest. They were able to capture the youngest baby eagle. The eldest baby eagle flew to the wawa tree. The men took the youngest baby eagle and presented it to the old woman. She cooked it with plant and served it to her granddaughter for dinner. "Sangoi! Sangoi, bird child! Sangoi! If you got it, come back." Now, the female eagle finally found her eldest baby eagle at the wawa tree. to commence her magic. And all the people, the huts in the marketplace, disappeared. And the trees and the forest returned. And the terrible sore that once was on the old woman's leg returned. The elders of the Ashanti people teach us that when someone does good to you, you should return good with good. Medas. The moral of that story is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The wisdom of Kwanzaa is that we can take these stories, these folk tales, these fables, these legends, and we can extract the wisdom from them and use them because they're universal and they're timeless. The story of the eagle and the old woman is as important today as it was in ancient Mali. So now we're going to have drum story because one of the principles of Kwanzaa, the sixth day of Kwanzaa, is Kuumba. All right, so we're going to go a little out of order, but by the end of the program, you're going to really understand about all the seven principles. But Baba Sangha is going to talk to us a little bit about Kuumba, creativity.
Yes, I. Big up to Professor Dr. Linda Hughes. You know, because Africa is the largest continent, you know. It takes up like half of the world.
Second largest.
Second largest to me is the largest, man. Africa, you know, because all the resources come out of there, you know. And they use all these resources all over the world. And one of the resources that came out of Africa was the drum. Why I say resource? Because they use the tree, right? And they cut the log, and you know, they shape it. They shape the log, and then they dug out everything from the inside, you know, no holes on the side. And then they put the skin of the animal, right, the goat skin, right on top of this drum. Some drums get cow skins. Some drums get mule skins. Depends on what's in your area. Where you see, the djembe drum comes out of the Empire of Mali, so there are lots of goats, so they use the goat. Very light, and the drum is very light. So then they take the skin, they put it on, they mounted it onto the drum, and then they tied it with the rope, you see, really tight, and they tuned up the drum. Now the sunlight also helps, because when the sun shines, the skin gets very tight to the wood. It draws the skin to the wood, so you get a really high sound. So we live here right now, so we don't have the hot sun. So what we did was we pulled our drums really tight, and we keep them tuned, you see. So this is djembe drum, and it's djembe drum is drum, you see. So wherever you go in Africa, drum is drum. It calls the people to attention, and it's their culture. But this drum here is not just boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, you see. So this drum is about sound, see. You create that sound with your hands, with your ears, with your eyes, with your mouth, and that sound comes from deep inside. So when you play the drum, people feel it all through their feet. You know, if you're deaf, you can feel it in your feet. And people sitting in the audience, it goes all through their feet and it goes all to the head. So the energy rises up. That's why the drum is so powerful. So when you play the drum, you pray for peace, you play for love, you play for food, you play the drum for everything in life. But the notes of the drum is what makes people dance or feel the rhythm by the notes, you see? So the deep sound you're hearing right now, which is this sound, that's the bass of the drum. They call that goon. And it must feel like goon, goon, goon. Let me hear you. Goon. music. I said music. First music was from the drum. The first instrument is the drum. But in 1692, they took away our drums. So from then to now we have the drum back, kind of, and they took away our drums. So we were able to sing the rhythms, you see. So the slaves, they held on to the tradition by singing. And when they sing, they would sing the drum, you see. So they didn't have any drums, but, they would sing, they would beat on boxes, they would beat on whatever. So let's sing a little bit, right? Whatever I sing, you sing after me. Goon go do,
Goon go do,
goon go do goon.
goon go do,
Goon go do, goon go do.
goon go do,
Goon go do, goon pa.
goon go do, goon pa,
Goon go do, goon pa ta.
goon go do, goon pata,
Goon go do, goon pa do pa do.
goon go do, goon pato pato,
Goon pa, go do.
goon pa poro,
Goon pa ta, goon pa go do.
goon pata goon ga poro,
Go do, go do, go do, go do.
goro.
Give yourself a hand. You did very well. So you see, the drum, it was created from love. It was created by someone putting their head together and putting it together. The creativity of all. So what I want to do right now is want to tell you that this is not the drum. You see, this is just the tree, the skin of the animal. But you need one more spirit, the spirit of you, or the spirit of someone else who's sitting next to you with the drum, right? So with that spirit, now we have the Trinity. The spirit of the wood, the tree, the animal, and now the spirit of you. So with that now, we are complete. And now it's a drum, but I'm the drum, you're the drum, and
We're the drum.
we're the drum. So point to yourself right now. Say, I'm the drum.
I'm the drum.
Mhm. Point to somebody in the room or the picture on the wall or your ancestors that's in the room. Say, you're the drum.
You're the drum.
And now put your index finger, this is the index, and I want you to make a circle like we are the world and say, we are the drum.
We are the drum.
Right? So I'm going to ask Professor Humes here to show you, and then we're going to do it in a rhythmical form 4 times. We're going to come to New York now. Go ahead. That's the
I'm the drum.
Uh-huh.
You're the drum.
Uh-huh.
We're the
Get
drum.
them one more time. Show them one more time.
I'm the drum.
Uh-huh.
You're the drum.
Uh-huh.
We're the drum.
You got that? So now we're going to jam. We're going to jam, right? Let me set up the rhythm. We're going to take it right here. Invented in the Bronx by a Jamaican from Jamaica. Now they call it hip hop. From right there in the Bronx, boogie down Bronx. This is the music of hip hop coming from Africa to America. We're going to say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Everybody say, I'm the drum, you're the drum, we're the drum. Yeah, come on, come on. I'm the drum, you're the drum, we're the drum. Everybody in your house. I'm the drum, you're the drum, we're the drum. One more time.
I'm the drum. You're the drum. We're the drum.
And you done know. Give yourself a hand. Give yourself a hand. You done know. So if you understand the drum, this one is called djembe drum. And it's from the Empire of Mali. And go and research Mali and those Manding people, the Mandingos, from Sanga Town and from Bolamakote people, and all the way down, So I just want to say peace and love. If you have a drum already, keep playing your drum. That's the key. If you don't have a drum, you know what to do. This is Christmas time. So, drummer boy, go get a drum. Peace out. One love.
Oh,
Happy
goodness.
Kwanzaa to you.
Wow. Fantastic.
Ashe.
And you know what? When Baba Sanga was saying that Africa is the largest continent, it's the first continent because the first human beings were found in Uganda, in East Africa, right? And the idea of a philosophy that goes all through the continent of Africa is very, very special because from Nigeria with Babatunde Olatunji, he talks about I'm the drum, you're the drum, that we all have this universal part of ourselves. He used to say we have the drum, we all have our heart and our voice, right? In South Africa, they say Ubuntu, which is I see you, or I see the humanity in you, or I am because you are. Looking at, again, the connectedness of all of us as human beings. So Umoja is unity. Then the second day is Kuji Shagulia, self-determination. Then the third day is Ujima, corporate, collective work and responsibility. Ujama, cooperative economics. Nia, purpose, and then Kumba, which Sangha just did a whole beautiful piece on. And then the very last day and the last principle celebrated on New Year's Day is Imani, faith. And that's the day where we traditionally have a big feast and have many people come over, right? So many people celebrate where one day they'll go to one person's house or they'll celebrate within their home, but then on the last day is when they really have a party, if you will, and really have a big feast and everyone comes together. So what I want to do is just show you a little bit about the table here. What I want to say is that it's really important for everyone to understand the principles of Kwanzaa, but also to have a culturally responsive approach to how we learn about ourselves and others, right? So we have the gifts of Kwanzaa, which are called Zawadi. Now, I like to say that the gifts for Christmas, that's like your PlayStation 5, if you could get hold of one, right? And all those fun gifts. But the gifts of Kwanzaa, the Zawadi, are gifts that you can make with your own hands and gifts that help with a person's nia or purpose. So, for instance, Baba Sangha is a musician. What would be a great gift for him? Drum, and bira, a harmonica, because he's a musician, right? So that's what's important. Or books that can help better someone. So I have some books out here. This one, of course, is President Barack Obama's book, and then of course Michelle Obama's book. I read this one. I didn't get through this one yet, and I'm in the process of reading this one, right? But these books are wonderful gifts for people, right, who are interested in learning more about history, about politics. Another great Zawadi again is presents that you make yourself. So this is a workbook called Kwanzaa Time to Celebrate that we did, Yafa Cultural Arts, with the CD, right? It won the Silver Honors Parent Award, all right? And it's a CD all about Kwanzaa and a workbook about Kwanzaa. So this is a great Zawadi, right? To be able to give to someone. And then I have my instruments also, which again are great Zawadis. Now, here, next to Baba Sangha, he can lift it up, we have ears of corn. And the ears of corn represent the children in the family. So if you have 3 children, you would have 3 ears of corn, right? Because that's the harvest of the family, is the children. So we have the ears of corn. And then, thank you, Sangha. And then we have the Umoja cup, which Baba Sangha talked to us about before, the unity cup, right? And then we have the Kenara, which is the candelabra that's used for Kwanzaa. And you can see here that it has 3 red candles on the right hand side and 1 black candle in the middle, and then 3 green candles on the end. So these candles represent the 7 days of Kwanzaa, but they also represent the 7 principles. And each day you light a candle on the day of that particular principle. So today we're gonna light this one, the black one, for Umoja. And then tomorrow we would take the same black candle, which represents the people, and we would light the red candle that represents the blood or the hard work that we do. And then the next day, it would be a green, red, green, until all of the candles are lit. And the idea, what I love to say when we are working with young children, is the red is when you get off your game and you study, right? The red is when you do your homework and you study and you put all that hard work in. But the green is when you get them A's and B's, right? And it's the same thing as adults. We work hard and then we reap the benefit of getting what we sow, right? So again, it's looking at those principles. So that's the Kinara, right? So I said in the beginning of the program that you were going to know the principles by the end of the program, right? That's what I said. So I did say that. So so we have to help you with that. Yes. So Kuji Shogalia again is self-determination. Ujima, collective work and responsibility, which is so important. Ujama, cooperative economics, that we need to be conscious of how we spend our money, right? And what we do with our money, and how we can, again, unite with others so that we can build community with our money. Nia, purpose, right? What is your purpose in life? Kumba, being creative in everything you do. And the other thing I like to say, Baba Sanga, is that sometimes when people think of creativity, they think that you have to be a storyteller, you have to be a visual artist, so you have to be a musician, but you could be a creative accountant, not to the point where you get in trouble now, but anything that you really have a passion for and you're really good at, that's an art, right? So being creative, Kuumba. And then of course, we cannot do anything, and you can't have any of the other principles if you do not have faith. So as we come out of this year 2020 into a new year 2021, I challenge everyone to have a spirit of faith that we can move forward in Imani, so that we can know that our ancestors were resilient. So we have resilience in us. And if we have made it this far, and we know that we have to have the faith to continue to move forward. So let's go back to hip hop here. And when we repeat things, then we remember them, right? So let's see. I need a hip hop beat.
You need a hip hop beat.
Yeah. And then what I need you all to do at home is I need you to clap your hands. Yeah. That's right, everybody. Come on. Clap your hands. That's right. Put the eggnog down. Put the cider down. Yeah. And put your hands together. Hey.
Are you ready?
It's a Kwanzaa thing. You should understand. Principles of life to make your mind expand. Umoja. Unity. Kuji Shakalia. Self-determination, it's a Kwanzaa thing. You should understand that we all have the power to make a plan. Follow it through and make a plan. Ojima, collective work and responsibility. Ujama, cooperative economics. Cooperative economics. African people, wherever you live, New York, the UK, Ghana, South Central LA, Nia, purpose. Creativity, oh, it's a Kwanzaa thing we should understand. Started by Dr. Karanga to remind us that we are smart, intelligent, committed folk, ready to take action and not just talk. Imani, faith, it's a Kwanzaa thing. Now everybody, it's a Kwanzaa thing.
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 Selector.
Yeah.
Kick it.
Well, no, we're going now on a Caribbean style. Because Caribbean people, like us right here, we are all one people. And we all celebrating Kwanzaa. We have that in common. So here we go. Are you ready? 1, get ready to go. 2, get ready to go. 1, 2, 1. Kwanzaa. Put the family together. Show more love, your sister and your brother. Give respect to your mother and your father. To make the black community just stronger, remember. It's not political or religious. 7 days to celebrate and trust. Hey, Kwanzaa thing is a must. If you don't know, just follow us. I say, you need a table with a kente cloth, a bowl of fruit, a mat, and some corn. You need a gift you make on your own. I could now roll with 7 candles to respect your principle. Like Umoja, that means unity, the family, and the determination, Ujima, collective work and responsibility, Ujaba, offensive economic, media, that thing, purpose, Kauma, creativity. The last day is money, and that means speed. So everybody in the house, let's celebrate. Kwanzaa time, Kwanzaa time. Let me tell you about this Kwanzaa time. Kwanzaa time, Kwanzaa time. No, it is the black family time. Say yo, 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 say yo, 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 say yo, yo. Now somebody, everybody scream. Big up to the Kwanzaa time.
Y'all are having some fun out here. I'm having some fun. Are you having fun?
I'm having fun.
I'm having
I want to tell them something, Linda.
Yes.
Let me see this instrument. You see this instrument here? You find this in the church, right? You know why it became so popular in the church? Because they couldn't use the drum. Like I told you in the drum story, they banned the drum in 1692. So we had to come up with ways. And this was one of the ways, you know, the slaves, they used to play the tambourine, and they would use it as a rice sifter. They would sift the rice, you know. When massa gone, they turn it over and it's a tambourine. So I just wanted you to know that when you see a tambourine, remember, it came to hold place for the drum. But now the drum's back. Why? I'm the drum. I'm back. You're the drum. You back. We're the drum. So remember that in your Kwanzaa time. Next time you see a tambourine, think about the slaves. They used it and it worked.
And in the other piece too that is really interesting about this tambourine or tambourines in general is that again they are universal to the African diaspora. You can find tambourines, they call them different things obviously in Brazil.
Oh
they
yeah,
have
pandel,
all kinds of panderos, all kinds of tambourines or you know this kind of an instrument,
yes,
as well as the shekere. Again, in Yoruba call it shekere, right? But again, the idea of gourd instruments is again universal to many parts of the continent of Africa, as well as the thumb piano that Baba Sanga is playing. Now, is that one a kalimba?
This is mbira.
That's an mbira, right?
Kalimba is from South Africa. This is from Central Africa, so they call it mbira. From the calabash. The kalimba has wood. This one has calabash. That's the difference.
So again, you know, there's so many similarities. There's diversity. There's so much diversity on the continent of Africa. You know, in terms of languages, 2,000 languages spoken, and with the instruments, there's different kinds of drums. But there is also a universality of thought and a universality in how some of the natural resources are used for instrumentation. So we're going to end with a song that I think everybody knows, and this song I think really emulates this holiday season, This Little Light of Mine, because if you celebrating Hanukkah, you're celebrating with the menorah, you're celebrating with 8 candles. If you're in the Christian faith, you celebrate the lights and the light of the baby Jesus. And then Kwanzaa with the lights of the Kinara. But the idea is that we're looking at the light which is in every single one of us, whether it's in South Africa, you say Ubuntu, whether it is from Yoruba, and you say that drum, that I'm the drum in the Yoruba language. The idea is that we are all connected as humanity, and we must stand together now to bring humanity to another level. We don't have to go back to the past of what did not work, but we surely need to take from the past what does work into the present with us so that we can have a glorious future in the spirit of Sankofa. So we're going to end with This Little Light of Mine.
Hey.
All right? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Baba, not only during Kwanzaa time, but 365 days a year, so that your life could be better. Again, I'm Dr. Linda Humes, Baba Sangha of the Valley. We're Griots in concert. And Harambe!
Yes, I.
Harambe!
Yes, I.
Harambe!
Yes, I. Now, in the tradition, we got to say that 7 times, right? Each night, you know, so we say it 7 times. You ready? You ready?
Let me light our candle.
You ready, Professor?
Yeah, right.
Let's
yeah.
do this like Brutus.
Right here.
You got
So
it?
we're gonna light the candle for Umoja.
Yes. So as we light the candle, we'll say Harambe, right? And you put your fist in the air like this, and we say, you ready? You ready? We say Harambe. And the second night, Harambe. Third night, Harambe. Fourth night, Harambe. Fifth night, Harambe. Sixth night,
Harambe.
and the last night we want it really strong. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Harambe. Time to celebrate.